Dear students, in the previous session we discussed about valency bond theory. The main demerits of this valency bond theory is it could not able to explain why the proper magnetic properties are there, the properties of these compounds, why they are showing color, as well as how to understand the pairing of electrons and magnetic properties. These are all not explained in this theory. So, we are looking for another new theory called as crystal field theory. According to this theory, during the formation of complex compounds, the metal it loses appropriate number of electrons, valence electrons, which is equal to its oxidation state. Here also the same as like in valency bond theory, the metal is losing appropriate number of valence electrons, which is equal to its oxidation state present in the complex. Now, if we are selecting the metal ion which is formed, present in the gaseous state, that means free state is there. Gaseous state means free state. In this free state, all these d orbitals, that means we know that the d sublevel contains 5 d orbitals. All these 5 d orbitals are degenerate. What is the meaning of degeneration? The meaning of degeneration is having same type of energy. Now, in such a case, if you select that metal ion present in the gaseous state, that means free state, all these d orbitals present in the d sublevel are degenerate, which are having what means same energy. Now, if we are selecting this one, since these metal ions which are smaller in size, having high nuclear charge, could able to attract the ligands towards itself during the formation of these metal complexes or coordination compounds, then what will happen means these ligands, whatever there, which are anionic in nature, they are readily attracted, anionic in nature, they are readily attracted by the metal ions, as well as some neutral ligands such as say for example NH3 is taken or H2O is taken, then the lone pair present in these central atoms, they can be considered as electronic charges or point charges which are polarized by these metal ions. That means whenever these metal ions are there, then the metal ions could able to attract the ligand electron pairs towards itself. Since it is positive in nature, which can readily attracted by the metal ion, naturally the ligand which is anionic in nature, such as say for example Cl minus or Cn minus or Br minus or OH minus, they are readily attracted by these ones. That is okay, that one is so natural. Whereas, if you select some neutral ligands, these are also attracted. Why these are attracted? The neutral ligands over the central atom, there is a lone pair. This lone pair could be easily polarized by the central metal ion. So, therefore, they will also be attracted by these metal ions. Whenever the metal ion is attracting the ligands towards itself, what will happen? These metal ions, they will approach, the ligands, they are approaching the metal ions symmetrically around the central metal ion, symmetrically, that means around that one. But once the approach is present, after certain, whenever they are approaching nearer and nearer, they will have a specific spatial arrangement, is present. This specific spatial arrangement depends upon nature of the metal ion and the geometry of the complex. So, in such a case, what happens means whenever the specific spatial arrangement is present, that means the ligands are approaching around the metal ion in particular directions only. Originally, since the electrostatic forces of attraction which is arised between metal ion and ligand, they are having no directions. Very important point. The metal atom is losing certain electrons and converted into metal ion, and this metal ion is ready to attract negative charged ligands between them. So, therefore, what type of attraction forces are arised between them is electrostatic forces of attractions are arised, and for this electrostatic force of attraction there is no direction. As there is no direction, these ligands are actually approaching the metal ions symmetrically from all the directions. But as they are nearing this metal ion, what is happening? There will be a specific spatial arrangement depend upon the nature of the metal ion, nature of the ligand, as well as the geometry of the complex. So, a specific spatial arrangement it will be present around this metal ion, and thereby what happens means these d orbitals whatever they are influenced by the ligand. The influence is two types. One is this one, attraction forces, and second one is repulsion forces. What are the attraction forces? What we are saying, the metal ion is there, the metal ion is attracting the electrons, so the metal ion is there, and the ligand negative charged one is there, and it is converted into metal ligand, that means complex. Then what type of forces are present means electrostatic attraction forces, attraction forces. That means as per crystal field theory, what type of attraction forces are there between metal ion and ligand means electrostatic force of attraction. And whenever these ligands are coming, then interelectronic repulsions are present. What is the meaning of interelectronic repulsions? The repulsions which are erased, the electrons present in the d orbitals as well as the ligand electrons which are present to donate. So, here metal ion is there, the metal ion originally it is having some d electrons or some electrons for it, and the ligand is having the lone pair of electrons which are ready to donate. So, between these electrons present in d orbital and the electrons present in the ligand, they will be repelled with each other, and such type of forces are called as interelectronic repulsions. So, therefore, whenever the metal ion is surrounded by ligands, two things are happening. What are the two things? Between the metal ion and the ligand, there are attraction forces, and these are purely electrostatic forces of attraction. And the second one is repulsion forces. The repulsion forces are due to the repulsions of electrons present in d orbitals of metal and the lone pairs of ligands. So, therefore, here according to crystal field theory, the bond present between metal and ligand is electrostatic forces, that means ionic bond. Very important point. In valency bond theory, the attraction forces present between the metal and the ligand is due to overlapping of orbitals, that means covalent bond. Whereas here, according to crystal field theory, the electrostatic forces of attractions are operating between metal ion and negative charged ligand, and that means that is of ionic bond in nature. See that what we are talking about, whenever the d orbitals are there which are having certain number of electrons and the ligand is approaching, what is happening? There are repulsion forces also. Because of these repulsion forces, the energy of the d orbitals increases. This increase in energy is called as Barry energy. This is known as Barry energy. Depending on the approach of the ligands around the central metal atom in different ways. For example, the ligands may be approaching tetrahedrally, or the ligands may be approaching octahedrally, or the ligands may be approaching square planar in nature. So, there are various ways of approach depending on the nature of what means the coordinate complex, whatever it is going to be formed. Here we are discussing the first one, octahedral type complexes. So, therefore, whenever, that means here the metal ion is surrounded by 6 ligands. That means the structure or the geometry of the complex is octahedral. In such a case, what is happening is first the d orbital's energy is increased because of repulsion forces which are arised between metal ion and ligands, and this energy, whatever increase is present, is called as Barry energy, and this one is denoted by what means delta naught, which is corresponding to octahedral approach. And now the octahedral approach means these ones are present here. You see this one, this is the octahedral approach. That means one ligand is approaching like this, another ligand is approaching like this, another ligand is approaching like this one, and the other two are like this. Therefore, in such a case, some orbitals present in these d sublevel are influenced much more effectively, and some other orbitals are not actually approached or affected, what means less. So, therefore, in such a case, what is happening here? Dx square minus y square and dz square are influenced very highly, and the other 3 orbitals dxy, dyz, dzx, they are influenced less. In such a case, this energy of these 2 sets of orbitals are increased, and for these 2 sets of orbitals that is decreased, which is called as octahedral splitting. This one is known as octahedral splitting. That means whenever the metal ion is there and the ligands are approaching, what happens means, due to the approach, octahedral means like this, due to this approach along the axis, what is happening? Dx square minus y square and dz square orbitals are influenced more effectively, and dxy, dyz, dzx orbitals are influenced less effectively. In such a case, what is happening? Then in the Barry energy, 3/4 delta naught increase is present from this average for these 2 sets of orbitals, which are named as Eg orbitals. Next, for this one, 2/5 delta naught, that means among this Barry energy, 2/5 delta naught is decreased for these 3 sets of orbitals, which are called as T2g. Eg and 2Tg orbital names are actually selected from spectral analysis. They are selected from spectral analysis, as we are having what means s orbital, p orbital names which are selected from spectral analysis. S represents for sharp line, p represents for principal line, D represents for diffused line, like that. Here also they are selected from the spectral analysis nature, and so therefore the 5 d orbitals present in d sublevel are splitted into 2 categories. One category is called as Eg category, another one is called as T2g category. That means Eg set and T2g set. From the average of delta naught, 3/5 delta naught increase is present for Eg set, and 2/5 delta naught is present for what means T2g set. Instead of this one, if the approach is present as what means the tetrahedral nature, then the splitting will be different. If the approach is a tetrahedral approach, then the splitting is different. In the tetrahedral approach, this is the say metal ion, then the ligands are not coming along the axis, in between the axis. In between the axis means which orbitals are influenced means dxy, dyz, dzx, they are influenced more effectively than along the axis dx square minus y square and dz square. So therefore, in this case what is happening means the splitting is different. Therefore, here in this tetrahedral approach, what is happening means this here barrier energy is denoted as delta T, and for the average of delta T, 2 by 5 delta T is increased for this TTG set. T2G set is having more energy here, and this EG set is having less energy here, 3 by 5 delta T. Again, how we know this one? As I said just now, it is confirmed from spectral analysis data, and so therefore here that is there. And from these calculations also, from the spectral analysis data also, we are able to understand that delta T is nearly about 4 by 9 times of delta naught. Delta T how much means? 4 by 9 times of delta naught. So therefore, here the one it is delta T splitting energy is less than delta naught splitting energy. That means in octahedral complexes the splitting energy is more, whereas in tetrahedral complexes the splitting energy is less. Are you understand this one? Let us understand by taking an example here. I have taken a complex potassium ferrocyanide K4FeCN6. This one is the complex what I am selecting. Here the central atom is iron whose oxidation state is 2. Therefore, I am writing the configuration. Fe is argon, Fe configuration is argon 3d6 4s2. Now, here Fe is present as Fe plus 2 whose configuration is argon 3d6. That means originally the d orbital is having 6 electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, this one 5, 6 electrons are there. This is the original configuration of Fe plus 2. In which state? Gaseous state, the simple free state. But now in the formation of Fe, Cn taken 6 times, this one is affected by whom? Cn minus ion. As I told you previously also, these transition metals when compared to S block elements, these transition metals are having smaller size and cation is still in smaller size and they are having more effective nuclear charge. So therefore, what they could able to do means they can attract the electron pairs towards itself which are provided by the ligands. So therefore, in the formation of this complex, the Fe plus 2 ion is ready to attract the Cn minus ions towards itself, and whenever the Cn minus ion is approaching, what is happening? This energy of the d orbitals are increased. The increase is delta naught, which is called as what means increase in energy for this one. And the approach is, because there are 6 ligands, the approach is octahedral. What approach? Therefore, octahedral splitting takes place. As the octahedral splitting takes place, these d orbitals which are present here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this one is 6. These orbitals are there, whatever there, they are splitted into 2 categories, Eg category and T2G category. The splitting is 2 types. The cyanide ion is a strong field ligand or its influence is very high. What happens means the octahedral splitting energy is very high. As octahedral splitting energy is very high, the electrons does not occupy these Eg set of orbitals, and the configuration as we are discussing, it becomes T2g6 and Eg0. Therefore, in such a case, along with these Eg orbitals, the s orbital as well as p orbitals are available as vacant, and the cyanide ion can able to donate the electrons or attracted for these orbitals towards these orbitals and forms an octahedral complex. This is the thing which is present here. How we know this cyanide ion is influencing much, and how to conclude it is a strong field ligand? That what I discussed previously also. The energy, whatever this splitting energy can be calculated with the spectral analysis. Generally, the one visible spectral analysis and UV spectral analysis provides the energy gap present between these two sets, so that we can understand whether the delta naught is very high or delta naught is very less. And select another example of very simple type, this one. I am selecting what means the same type K4 Fe6, this one K4 Fe6, this one F6. Here the one is again the Fe is +2 oxidation state, the same type only, but what is happening here, it is the d orbitals whatever we are having, the d orbitals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and this one is 6, and they are increased with energies, this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that is increased. But now the octahedral splitting is less here. The octahedral splitting is less here. Why the octahedral splitting is less here? The fluoride ion is less influencing in nature. As the fluoride ion is less influencing in nature, this octahedral splitting is less here. That split is less here. That means delta naught value is less here. In such a case, here what is happening means delta naught is less than pairing energy. That means the energy gap between T2g set and Eg set is less. This one is T2g set and this one is Eg set. Between these two sets, what is happening is the energy gap is less, and it is less than even pairing also. So naturally, the 6 electrons are ready to occupy like this 1, 2, 3 without pairing here. Okay, the one is 4th, 5th. Naturally, the 6th electron has to occupying this one T2g set. So the configuration here it is becoming T2g4Eg2. T2g4Eg2. Okay, that is the difference between these two complexes. Here the central atom is the same iron and its oxidation state is same Fe+2 in both the cases, but the ligand approach is different. One is in case that is cyanide ion, in the other case that is fluoride ion, and this cyanide ion is actually influencing that Fe+2 ion very effectively, so that the splitting octahedral energy is more, and whereas the fluoride ion, this one cannot able to influence very high. So therefore, the splitting energy is less. In such a case, what is happening means here the pairing is taking place, and that one is T2g6 Eg0, whereas here T2g4 Eg2, this one. So as we are discussing, the splitting depends upon the ligands which are approaching, which can be understandable and measurable with the help of spectral analysis. So we are having a series of ligands which are actually determined from the energy basis known as spectrochemical series. What they are called as spectrochemical series. and the influence is given like that: I minus less than Br minus less than SCN minus less than Cl minus less than S minus 2, so on. And here we can see ammonia based ethylene diamine and nitrogen based and carbon monoxide, they are affecting very highly these ions or metal ions during the formation of the complexes. In such a case, this one, whether this pairing is taking place or not pairing is taking place, we can understand. In case of these weak field ligands, pairing does not take place, whereas in case of these strong field ligands, the pairing takes place. So therefore, we can able to understand what is the magnetic property of these coordinate compounds, as well as what is the configuration and why these ones are showing color like that. We will discuss this one in the next episode, in the next coming one, and here try to understand this one. It is actually calculated, or it is what it is there defined from spectral analysis. What means the one difficulty or drawback of this theory is mainly this one: the bonding is ionic in nature, but in coordinate compounds the bonding is mostly covalent. That most covalent character of these complexes is not well explained by this theory. Okay, so students, go through this one once again, and we will be discussing the remaining one in the next one episode. Thank you.